The B word, the B word, the N word, the G word. Cameron, as a writer, you said this more than once that the power of words are what you put into it. And then there are those that believe that there actually is a power of words. Why do you have your perspective?
Can you rephrase that again?
Why do you have the perspective that words are just words? It's what you put into it.
Okay. Okay, I see what you mean. Because it depends on how people, I guess, it just depends on how people receive the message. If they read it, if they hear it, if they unintentionally say it, like anything that they pick up, it definitely depends. And it can be attributed to anything in a character's makeup that's just how the word is just going to register with them. And I'm under that assumption where it's just like, it's all in the context, really. That being said, be courteous, of course. But so that's it, I guess.
I mean, I can respect that and that does make a lot of sense. But again, you know, a lot of this is all millennial talk. This is our generation. We're gonna lead the way. Um, if we just let it kind of be, I don't think it might not get any worse, but it might not necessarily get any better. If you had to pick a stance to guide everyone, which a lot of this conversation is, yes, to understand where everyone's coming from, but also to create some answers, build some bridges between cultures, religions, and just for us to do our kind of thing to move this thing forward. What would your stance be if you had to pick one to make change?
What are you asking me exactly what my view is on? Because I definitely believe in I guess, the refusal to say these words. Like, what are you asking me exactly?
Well, I guess it would be either the refusal to say these words, or just the.
I think it's important to be aware and knowledgeable about these words, but I also just believe just not to really ever need to be prompted to say any of these kinds of words, because they do have meaning to people meaning they have meanings to many people that are not the same as yours. So
Gotcha.
I believe in the power of courtesy as well as knowing what is happening and what's being used. But
Gotcha. Michelle? I'm just guessing, okay? Just guessing before I say that hip hop, popular music from the States, from what I've seen when I've traveled, permeated everywhere. So everyone says the N word, everyone says the B word, and everyone thinks they're a rapper. Have we had an influence in your culture over there in London?
There's been a major influence, always has been. However, I just don't see any need for the profanity in the music, or just talking to people in general. If you can't find any other word to use instead, then just don't say it, period.
But are people, I guess what I'm going with it is, are people using it a lot because of that influence? And has that become a norm in that culture over there?
I think there are certain sects within society that tend to use that language, but it's not, I wouldn't say that it's an everyday occurrence.
Okay. All right, well, let's go into a clip of the word of the street in reference to the N-word and their perspective on it.
All right, so I use the N-word. I can honestly say I use the N-word. My reason is maybe different from other people's reasons. It's almost like the way they interact with other ones that are the same color. Do I feel as though it should end? it go hands in hands. It all comes down to the person. Like, if we can't agree that everybody can use it, then it should end. So that's how I strongly feel. But I feel as though it depends on how the person uses it.
Over time, people have tried to turn it into a positive thing, but I think it's just something that needs to just go. It's something that other races have also taken on, and they use it as a way of, calling each other friends. And I personally, like, I get offended when I hear that. I feel like, I don't know, I almost in a way feel like if anyone's gonna use it, which I don't really approve of it at all, but I would prefer, it to be an African American person over another race, because I just feel it sounds odd to me. But, I can't tell people what they can and can't say, but I would prefer if every race, including African Americans, just put that word out of use. And yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting. One of the things the wrap up was, if we had to choose, and we can't say everyone can use it, then no one can use it. That's a very interesting extreme, and I think that actually might work. Pooja, you were born here, or were you born in India?
I was actually born in India, but I did my middle school and high school here.
Okay.
And college, obviously, yeah.
Now, was there a huge racial, I guess, either racial tension or racial situations or racial perspective that you had to deal with coming from that culture to this one?
I guess talking about racial things, Indians can be pretty racist, and I think coming to this country, I kind of grew up around a very diverse community, and I think that kind of helped me with learning about different cultures. If not, I think Indian, just people within India usually tend to be very, I guess, a best way to put it, I think they're a little bit color obsessive, where they like the lighter skin tone people a lot more than darker skin tone, even within the community, Indian community itself.
Mm-hmm.
They usually tend to lean towards lighter skin. And I think growing up in America sort of made me realize it really doesn't matter what the skin tone is. Everyone is their own different person, and you kind of learn so many different things from different cultures. But growing up, if it was just to pick from within India, I definitely did grow up in an environment where skin tone did matter, and it was sort of the lighter skin you are, the better, I guess, they considered you to be.
Yeah, I was surprised when I actually, I guess, was brave enough to have these conversations with people, different backgrounds, that in Southeast Asia and in Asia, how big skin color
Yes.
was. It's somewhat bigger than than some other places. I was surprised, with the skin creams and the bleaching, and
Yes.
it's the norm. This is what you do. You bleach your skin.
Yes, it's sort of just, I mean, it's like white people trying to get tan, and it's like tan people trying to get white. That's kind of how it is.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's definitely a major thing, and yeah, people do have bleaching cream. They have a lot of different procedures to try to get your skin tone to be lighter.
Mm. There was a lady in South Africa that she's a huge star, and she bleached. I mean, she went from darker than me to really fair skin, and she had some plastic surgery, and they made a big thing about it, how she just keeps, I guess, manipulating, changing herself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of hard for someone to talk about being proud of their roots and all this other stuff when they're constantly changing themselves.
Yeah.
It's I can't, I can't hold that down. What you're saying keeps wanting to throw up, but it's fine though. I mean, I think personal happiness, that there does come that bridge, because if someone wants to modify, which I think we should do a whole show on that. Not gonna get that too much, but I don't know. Some personal happiness. Is there a balance between that too?
I think there's a balance, but I mean, we should definitely do another show on this, because I know there was like, I think it was in Korea where they had the contestants for like Miss Korea, and pretty much all of them have been like gone through plastic surgery, and pretty much all the contestants looked almost the same.
Oh,
Like
wow.
like they had very specific features that they thought was like pleasing, aesthetically pleasing. So pretty much all of the contestants went through plastic surgery to get features to look a certain way.
Wow. That's crazy. All right, so we're gonna shift gears. The topic of the night. I believe on our poll so far, it was the friend zone. So we're gonna go into that. But I just want to give a quick rant, real quick. I just want to say Disney, okay? Disney. And there's a picture up with a whole bunch of princesses, okay? How come out of all the princesses, when you finally made a black princess, technically, she wasn't a princess? And how come she didn't fall in love with her brother? That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying. Okay? Okay? And what about, okay? Brothers can't be princes, okay? I was a kid, maybe I wanted to grow up to be a prince and wake up some sleeping chick, okay? Or marry some chick with some slippers or something or whatever. You know, I'm just saying. You left me with just the pirates, which is fine. So I'm a pirate, I'm into pirates and knives and daggers and stuff. You know, but I'm just saying. Let that go. All right, next segment.